To begin, let's discuss some structural differences between the 5x5 and the 4x4. This will be important while learning how to solve it. The biggest difference between the 4x4 and the 5x5 is the fact that the 5x5 actually does have fixed centers because it's an odd layered cube. As I mentioned in the 4x4 tutorial, the 4x4 has no fixed centers, so you can start solving your first center anywhere. However, the 5x5 is very similar to the 3x3 in this regard. As you can see, the 3x3 also has fixed centers. So, just like the 3x3, the centermost piece of the 5x5 determines what color belongs on what layer. We can actually use this to our advantage because it removes the need to memorize your color scheme. Also, instead of just having 4 center pieces, the 5x5 has 9, arranged in a 3x3 square. And instead of just an edge pair, we actually have an edge triad on 5x5. The centermost edge is what we refer to as a middle edge. We call it midge for short, and the ones on either side of the midge are called wings. Also, the centers directly attached to the centermost piece are called plus centers, whereas the ones on the corners of the centermost piece are called X centers. This is because the centers adjacent to the centermost piece form a plus and the other 4 form an X, as you can see. And of course, just like the 3x3 and 4x4, the 5x5 has 8 unique corners with 3 colors each. Just like on the 3x3, when we use capital letters to denote turns, they refer to outer layer turns. So, if I tell you to do a U2, you would do it like this. If I tell you to do an R', you would do it like this. And similar to the 4x4, if we use a capital letter followed by a small w, which stands for wide move, we turn that layer along with its adjacent slice. So, if I ask you to do a U wide, you would do it like this. If I ask you to do an R wide prime, you would do it like this. Next, we can use small letters to denote just the slice turns. For example, while this is a capital R, this would be a small r. And similarly, this would be a small u. And now, to end the notation section, I would like to introduce you to the concept of 3-layer turns. This was an R wide, but this will be a 3R. This is where you're turning 3 layers at the same time. So as you can see, it also changes the positions of the centermost pieces. Similarly, if I say a 3U2, you would do it like this. Now that you're familiar with the structure and notation of the 5x5 cube, let's move on to the first step.